Hi everyone! Thank you for coming to my YouTube channel. Happy Mother's Day! I want to thank all the mothers in the world for their love for the family, for children, and for their hard work. And today I want to share my story of what I learned and unlearned from my mom. First of all, my mom was born in South Korea, and when she was 3, she went to Japan with her family. Back then, it was during the colonial period. So she was born in colonial Korea and came to Japan and started her life. So she doesn't really much remember her childhood in Korea, but she understands Korean language when she hears people speaking, and when she speaks like easy Korean, she has her regional accent. She was from Cholla, Namdo, and she passed away last July, unfortunately, but she was really an important person in my life, so I want to introduce. So what happened was, it was during the wartime, World War II, and she went to rural area in Hiroshima. So the father, my grandpa on mother's side, said, you don't have to go to school, but you need to help family. Back then, I know that people didn't really appreciate educating girls. So what she did was, she was helping the family. So she didn't even go to elementary school in Japan. And she was just doing the agricultural work, or a lot of cutting woods or carrying woods or that kind of stuff for the family. So she didn't learn how to read and write. So she was illiterate. She never owned any books. She didn't read magazines. So she always had this complex that she's not educated. So she wanted to make sure that her daughter, me, her son, my brother, and me were educated. And she always told me that the reason she was married to my dad, who was very violent and unreliable, he didn't have a stable job for a long time, so she was the main breadwinner. So she was always kind of telling me that, Tomomi, if you want to be happy as a woman, make sure you study and get yourself education, because if you're intelligent, you can tell who is a good man and a bad man. So don't be like me. Because I wasn't educated, I trusted your dad, and I didn't know he was an unreliable man. I had to work, and as a woman, having to work is such a unhappiness. Well, it's generation thing too. Back then, like really long time ago, she was born 1935. So back then, men were supposed to take care of women, and women were supposed to be housewife and focus on house chores and raising kids. But she wasn't a housewife. She wasn't educated, so she couldn't get a good corporate job. But she had to work at a restaurant or own a restaurant, and in the very end, she became a bar hostess. So she was drinking with businessmen, and later on, she was really good at doing business. She owned her own bar, and she made enough money to send me to study abroad in college in US. But she never liked her identity, the fact that she had to work to live. And she always told me that, I wish I had a wife. And so that's something I always learned from childhood. Okay, I don't want to marry a guy like my dad, and I don't want to live like my mom. So my dream life was marrying a man who is educated and reliable, and he can protect and provide for the family, and me being a housewife. But what happened was I got married to my first husband, who was from professor family, affluent family, and he was educated in the States. He got PhD, and I went to graduate school with him, and I got master's degree also. So I thought I was on the right track. But what happened was, of course, marriage has ups and downs, and we had our issues. We decided to get divorced, and of course, at the beginning I blamed him and everything, but through counseling and everything, I started there must be the context that made him weak or wanted to go to that direction. So what was it? So what kind of quality I had, or what kind of tendencies I had was there. And I was thinking about it, and maybe this belief since I was small that working woman is unhappy. If I want to be happy as a woman, I should be a housewife. So what happened was, we were both working at a university, and I was half admin and assistant professor full-time. I became full-time first. He was the part-time lecturer first. So first few years I was making more money, and I was more business-wise successful, and I should be happy. But then what I was feeling was like, why am I making more money, or why am I more successful, and how come my husband is not as successful as I am, or more successful, or how come he's not making more money? And that triggered my unhappiness. And I know that my attitude toward him, or the way I talked to him, made him feel very, very uncomfortable, and probably emasculate him. So that made me realize that, oh wow, this basic belief is affecting so much. And when I told my dream of being housewife to my former boss, who is American, or Japanese American, or my friends who know me very well, they were like, Tomomi, serious? You housewife? No way! You need to go out and talk to people. You're the working woman kind of woman. And I was like, no, seriously, my dream is to be housewife. What's wrong with being housewife? And they were telling me like, nah, your personality, I don't think so. And so I didn't get it back then. People knew about me more, but I had this belief from my mom that woman working and supporting the family is not something that make her happy. So after I realized, wow, this is the framework I had, I need to change this belief, then it made me realize how talented my mom was. Yeah, because of her belief, she herself was unhappy. But when I look back from this modern woman's perspective, hey, think about it. She had her own business. She wasn't even educated. She can't read and write, but she had her own business, and she was making a lot of money. And she started her drinking bar when I was 10-year-old. So that means she was 50. She's like 5 years older than me now. But she started this drinking bar, but because of her business sense or her communication or everything, a lot of people came to his bar. And it lasted more than 10 years, and she supported me to send me to American University, pay the tuition. So I'm like, wow, back then she was always complaining that she's not educated and she's not good, but actually she was an entrepreneur, working woman, successful career woman. And luckily, I am blessed to have her talent in me. So I am really lucky, and I have a lot of opportunities that people always come to me and tell me, I want to work with you. And I don't know why. They don't know me well, but they have instant trust in me, and you're great. I want to work with you. And now myself, as a freelancer, I am doing a great job, and I am self-supporting, and I'm proud of myself. So although I am married to my second husband, and of course, I am getting a lot of support from him because of the rent and everything is, we don't have to pay because US military is paying, but still we share living expense, and I pay half of it, and when we go on vacation, I pay also. So although we're together, I am contributing, or I am independent also, and I'm proud of it now. I don't feel like I am unhappy because I have to make money and because my husband is not paying for this or anything. So the important thing I learned from my mom is I have great talent from her. Entrepreneurship, hardworking, sincere about life, believing in educating yourself and using your talents. And I learned this belief of if you're a woman and you have to work, you are unhappy. So I am really grateful that I have wonderful mom who showed me what the life is all about by living the best life she can do and support her children the best way she can. So thank you, my mom in heaven. And my question to you is, what did you learn from your mom, or what did you unlearn about life? So what did you, or have you, or what are you learning? Any kind of tense is fine, but I'm just curious that what are the learning lessons you received from your mom, and what are the beliefs that you have learned, beliefs that you received from your mom. So I'm looking forward to hearing your comments, emails, messages. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.